gentlemen, would you please rise? May be seated. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, families of the fallen. We've gathered today to honor those who have made the supreme sacrifice by laying down their lives for others. We would also like to honor those that have passed away, leaving a legacy of courage, serving our communities as firefighters. May they always be loved and never forgotten.
Bienvenue. Bienvenue. Bienvenue, Kate. Bienvenue, distingués invités, mesdames et messieurs, familles de ceux qui sont morts en service. Nous sommes réunis aujourd'hui pour honorer ceux qui ont fait le sacrifice suprême en donnant leur vie pour les autres. Nous allons aussi honorer ceux qui sont décédés, laissant un héritage de courage, servir notre communauté en tant que pompiers. Toujours aimés, jamais oubliés.
Would you please stand please stand for the playing of O Canada by the Ottawa Fire Services Band and the pipe band under Paul Casagrande.
S'il vous plaît, vous vous levez pour l'hymne national, interprété par la fanfare du service d'incendie d'Ottawa et dirigé par le chef de musique Paul Casagrande.
May be seated. I'll now call upon Reverend John Bridges, Ottawa Fire Services Chaplain, to open in prayer, please.
J'inviterai l'aumônier du service d'incendie d'Ottawa, John Bridges, à débuter avec une prière.
It is my privilege to have served this community as the chaplain to the Ottawa Fire Department for the past 30 years. Now, over that time, I've come to get the essence of what it is to be a firefighter. The men and women firefighters that I have met share similar things. Number one, a duty to serve. Number two, caring and compassion. Number three, they love their community. In all of these things, we are blessed. Oh yeah, they're all a little crazy too. Come, Holy Spirit, be with us in our celebrations this day, that we may remember, that we may be challenged, that we may be comforted in all that we do and say, that hope will ring eternal. Amen.
I'd like to call upon Deputy Mayor Ben Johnson
Conseillère et mairesse suppléante Lane Johnson.
come and address us, please.
Thank you, Dawson. Good morning. Bonjour. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the chair of the Emergency and Protective Services Committee, Councillor Brockington, Ryan Perot, the General Manager of Emergency and Protective Services, Paul Hutt, Chief of Ottawa Fire Services, Reverend Canon John Bridges, Jenna McMillan, Vice President of the Ottawa Firefighters Association, and many of my council colleagues, Councillor Dudas, Councillor Hill, Councillor Plante, Councillor DeRoche, Councillor DeRuse was here, Councillor Carr, Wendy Stephenson, City Manager. It's a very important day. So today we gather to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to Ottawa Fire Services. Aujourd'hui, nous nous rassemblons à la mémoire de celles et ceux qui ont fait le sacrifice ultime dans le cadre de leur fonction au service des incendies d'Ottawa. And we stand in honor of their memories. And we make sure their legacies continue, whether in our hearts or in the actions we take to support our firefighters. When we think of our city's firefighters, it's only natural to imagine their courage, their selflessness, their leadership, and their teamwork. I have a 3-year-old who's already telling me he wants to be a firefighter. So I tell him he has to eat his supper. And I think that those traits are what is attracting him to the job. But of course, the word that resonates most deeply with me is heroism. Firefighters embody heroism in every sense of the word. The sacrifices you and your families make day in and day out are unmatched. Your presence and professionalism bring reassurance to our residents during a moment of real crisis, and votre présence et votre professionnalisme apportent de réconfort à nos résidents dans les moments de crise. And so I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to our city's firefighters and to you, the families and loved ones who stand by them. I think of you when my son sits at my dinner table telling me about wanting to be a firefighter, and I know these family members have shared tables with you, and thank you for sharing them with us. Your sacrifice and your support are deeply appreciated. Thank you all for joining us today to honor those courageous individuals, and merci d'être ici aujourd'hui pour honorer ces braves âmes. Thank you. Merci.
I'd now like to call upon our chief, our fire chief, Chief Paul Hutt.
Chef du service d'incendie d'Ottawa, Paul Hutt.
Thank you, Dawson. Firefighters, families, friends of the fallen, honorary guests. I'm honored to be here today to say a few words on behalf of the amazing people at the Ottawa Fire Service. As a fire service leader, I have the perk of working alongside brave personnel of the Ottawa Fire Service who risk their lives every day for the safety and security of others. Today we gather to honor the brave firefighters who shared their lives serving the residents of Ottawa. Our thoughts are with their families, many who are with us today. The names on the memorial being honored is an honor to the families, our service, and the City of Ottawa. This memorial also serves as a powerful reminder for the sacrifices and the impact they have had on the lives of others. This memorial also pays tribute to the names that do not appear on this wall. It's a testament to you, the families, who stand alongside every firefighter across this great city. When flags are at half-mast, it's a rare honor, but in this case, it's richly deserved. Residents and visitors across the city will see flags lowered today and all over the weekend, and I hope they stop and pause and ask why. Speak their name. Someone I love has gone away, and life is not the same. The greatest gift that you can give is just to speak their name. I need to hear the stories and the tales of days gone past. I need for you to understand the memories must last. We cannot make memories since they're no longer here, so when you speak of them to me, it's music to my ear. This poem beautifully captures the essence of remembering our loved ones. It emphasizes the importance of keeping memories alive through stories and shared experiences. Indeed, we speak their names. It's as if we're creating a song, a comforting tune that echoes through time. I do want to, in closing, just share that I'm grateful to the Ottawa Firefighters Community Foundation for their vision, commitment, and dedication for this great memorial, which is very special to the Ottawa Fire Service and the citizens of Ottawa. I'd also like to acknowledge our Ottawa Professional Firefighters Association, our Ottawa Fire Service Protocol Officer, our Ottawa Fire Service Honor Guard, our Ottawa Fire Service Band, Ottawa Fire Service Pipes and Drums, and our good colleagues with ROFA, Bytown Fire Brigade, and Frontline Credit for making today very special. May these fallen heroes continue to inspire us. May their legacy live in the hearts of those who remember them.
And now I would like to call on Jenna McMillan, Vice President of the Ottawa Professional Firefighters Association.
Vice-présidente de l'Association des pompiers professionnels d'Ottawa, Jenna McMillan.
Good afternoon, families and friends, brothers and sisters, and honored guests. It is my sincere honor to stand before you to pay tribute to a few of the bravest to have served this city, those whose names will soon be memorialized on these granite walls. Since we gathered here last 12 months ago, I see new faces in the audience, but I feel the same bond, and I'm warmed by the same spirit of brotherhood. Sorry. I, like many of you here today, am comforted by love, a love that only exists where a Maltese cross is found. The Maltese cross symbolizes the oath taken by your loved ones, an oath that was true to their core, and an oath that represents the best within all of us. Whether separated by generations or gender or backgrounds, our bond as firefighters is born from that oath. It's curated within all of us through the values that your loved ones demonstrated on the fire ground and helped to cultivate within all of us. And without question, that bond with your loved ones continues to live on within all of us and amongst us in stories that we tell at kitchen tables and fire stations across this city, and they are felt with each alarm that is struck. Ottawa firefighters are not just what you see in the street. Nice uniform, a mustached bravado. Ottawa firefighters are the protectors of this nation's capital. There are 186 years of spirit and sacrifice built by the bricks that your loved ones have laid down for all of us to lean on. And from the houses that have been built by these bricks comes the traditions, the resiliency, and the dedication those of us who still wear that cross hold very dear. It's often said that monuments such as these are our cathedrals, and they're somewhere that we can gather to gain solace and gain strength. And no matter where we go throughout this world, when we see a Maltese cross chiseled in granite, we know that we're home and that our loved ones are near. So in the tradition of the fire service, When names are added to these walls in our nation's capital, a new oath is taken. Always loved and never forgotten. With this new oath, we and you will share that bond, we'll share that brotherhood and that love that we shared with your loved ones. It is an oath that's going to transcend time and distance, and it is a place that exists for us and for you all in all corners of this country and beyond. On behalf of the Ottawa Professional Firefighters Association, IFF Local 162, I would like to say thank you to the families and friends of our fallen. Thank you so much for sharing your loved ones with us and trusting us with them and with this community. And thank you for the sacrifice you and your loved ones selflessly made for the betterment of us all.
I now would like to call upon Stuntman Stu, friend of the and ambassador of the Ottawa Fire Services.
Ami et ambassadeur du service d'incendie d'Ottawa, Stuntman Stu.
Thank you very much. Do you remember the first time you saw a fire truck? Remember that first time? I remember my first time was 44 years ago, 1980, at the West Island Dollar Desormeaux fire station. It was 5 minutes from my house, and my parents let me walk to that by myself. And the firefighters taught me how to put out a grease fire. I was 6 years old. What did I know about a grease fire? But I fell in love with that fire truck the minute I saw it, and that continues today. Working in the media for the last 30 years gave me the opportunity to rub shoulders with firefighters on many occasions. There was a pancake breakfast in Barhaven. In 2013, I brought my kids out because I won something at the golf tournament. I had the chance to put on a firefighter's uniform and go into the house, the fake house. I never had more respect than I do for you now. So why am I here? Nick DeFazio reached out to me a couple of years ago. He said, "Hey Stu, do you want to play firefighter?" I said, "Absolutely. What do I have to do?" So they brought me down to the headquarters where they take apart cars, and I had to use, I don't even know what it's called. The thing weighed more than me to separate a car. And Jaws of Life, thank you very much. That's why I'm not a firefighter, I'm too dumb. Jaws of Life, I was trying to get this car apart. And then they said, "Okay, now you sit in the car." And I sat in this car while they pulled it apart. I could never do what you do. And I thank you for your sacrifice, for your commitment to our community, and I thank you for your bravery. I always tell people, when you're running out, they're running in. Thank you very much. Merci.
We're now going to honor the fallen, and I'd like to explain the 3 helmets that you see in front of the fire truck carried by firefighters. Line of duty deaths are carried by Deputy Chief Colleen Woodsley, and the Legacy of Courage is carried by Captain Keith Hancock, and all firefighters everywhere are honored and carried by OFF Public Information Officer Rick DeFazio. come from all walks of life, united in their courage and selflessness. We honor their years of dedication and service to our community. These are the line of duty deaths since our last ceremony. All gave some, but some gave all.
Ils viennent de tous les horizons, unis dans leur courage et leur altruisme. Nous honorons leurs années de dévouement et de service à notre communauté. Voici les pompiers décédés en devoir depuis la dernière cérémonie. Tous en ont donné, certains ont tout donné. District Chief Al Darling. In recognition of Al and Darling and his valuable contribution to the citizens of Ottawa and the Ottawa Fire Service, he served with courage, dedication, professionalism, and ultimate personal sacrifice. He was born in New Brunswick and moved to Ottawa when he was 6 months old. He grew up in Alta Vista and attended Hillcrest High School. He joined Ottawa Fire on January 27, 1975, and served for 37 years, retiring at the rank of District Chief. He was extremely proud of his career as a firefighter. He was a man with a huge heart, who lovingly looked after his family. He was also a caring volunteer, who shared his time faithfully for many years with the Muscular Dystrophy Association in Chio. Alan was a loving husband, father, and papa who will remain in his family and their hearts forever. Captain Gilles Crête. Gilles served as an Ottawa firefighter for 28 years. He was much respected for his work, ethic, strength, and stoicism. He always strived for excellence and chose to lead by example. His kindness was contagious, and he would go out of his way to help others. Pursuing his passion for woodworking, Gilles turned his garage into a formidable workshop. His favorite activity was to help out family members with household repairs, often before they even knew they needed fixing. He was the beloved husband of the late Joanne Demers and the loving father of sons Daniel and Denis. To many, he was an inspiration. Chief Martin Michaels. Martin's love of firefighting began in 1980 when he joined the Gloucester Fire Department. He also volunteered with Osgood Fire, and upon the municipal amalgamation of 2001, he became an Ottawa firefighter. Martin retired as a district chief after 33 years of dedicated service. He enjoyed sharing his firefighting knowledge and became a diligent mentor to many young firefighters. He had an adventurous spirit and loved fishing, trucks, and basically anything with an engine. He also enjoyed touring across Canada and the U.S. on his motorcycle. Martin will be sadly missed by his wife Elaine, his sons Jeffrey and Richard, and grandsons James and Roland. Firefighter Gordon W. Hay. Gordy Hay was born on May 1st, 1949 in Ottawa. He went to Ottawa Technical High School and graduated from a land surveying program at Algonquin College in 1969. Gordy joined the Nepean Fire, later Ottawa Fire, in 1972 and enjoyed a 30-year career before his retirement. He was a pump operator for most of his career and was a mentor and role model to many. He died on June 7, 2021, and is dearly missed by all. Platoon Chief Wayne Sabray. Wayne grew up with a strong sense of duty and commitment to helping others. He started his career as an ambulance driver, where he met Jean, an emergency room nurse and his future wife. He then went on to join the Gloucester Fire Department, where he served as a well-respected firefighter for 36 years. At the time of his retirement, Wayne had risen to the rank of platoon chief. Wayne was a beloved family man who will be dearly missed by his wife, Jean, and daughter, Linda. Sadly, he was predeceased by his daughter, Karen. Captain Gary Victor Atfield. Gary grew up in a happy home as the third of 5 children. Curling was a big part of family life at the Atfield household, and it is not surprising that Gary went on to be very good at the sport. He joined Ottawa Fire in 1977. In his work, he witnessed many harrowing events while at the same time saving lives. Overall, he enjoyed his lengthy firefighter career and retired at the rank of captain at Fire Station 22. Captain David Cecil Morgan. Dave was born in Ottawa on November 11, 1949. His best childhood friend was Brian Ventura, and together they could be described as happy, and charming. They shared many adventures together, such as fending off imaginary intruders with BB guns or mucking out stables at a local farm so they could get to ride the horses. Dave had 2 great ambitions in life: becoming a firefighter and owning his own farm. His first goal was attained in 1972 when he became an Ottawa firefighter. After a successful career of 37 years, he retired in 2009 as a captain. His second goal was achieved years later as he and his soulmate Claire Brennan acquired a hobby farm. He is survived by his beloved partner Claire, his brother Brian, and his sister Sharon. Division Chief of Training, James Alexander Donaldson. Jim was raised in the Sandy Hill area of Ottawa. He attended the High School of Commerce, where he met the love of his life, Penny. They married in 1965 and went on to welcome 3 precious children, Darren, Sean, and Amy. Jim joined Ottawa Fire in 1967 and was proud to serve. He was eventually promoted to the rank of Chief of Training. He took his new responsibilities very seriously. He made it his goal to educate all new recruits with the practical knowledge and professionalism to protect others, to protect themselves and the general public, while fulfilling their firefighting duties. Jim also shared his substantial skills and knowledge with family and friends. He was a loving husband, a beloved father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and he will be sadly missed. The OFS Brass Band will now play Here's to the Heroes. And now our Legacy of Courage honorees. Richard DeFazio, August 16th, 2019. Alistair Al Binney, October 17th, 2023. Donald Anderson, November 16th, 2023. Georges Léo Lajoie, December 26th, 2023. Peter Alain, March 2nd, 2024. Ross Roy, March 14th, 2024. 2023. Leo Philippe, May 31st, 2024. Joseph Gilchrist, May 31st, 2024. Lyle McLennan, June 18th, 2024. Although they did not die in the line of duty, they left a legacy of courage and bravery in their service to our communities. Always loved, never forgotten. Bien qu'elles ne soient pas décédées en devoir, ils ont laissé un héritage de courage et bravoure au service de nos communautés, toujours aimées, jamais oubliées. And now Dawson McVeeder will play the Lord's Prayer.
I'd like to call upon John Bridges as the band prepares for the march past from flame to fame.
Almighty God, you are known by many different names. We thank you that today was a time of thought and remembrance, a time of comfort and challenge. Be with us as we go forth from this place, that the memories of these brothers and sisters may continually allow us as community and family to bring joy in all that we do and say. And when we have our doubts, be with us and allow us always to know that it is far better to give than to receive. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 23rd Annual Ottawa Firefighters Memorial Service. Now, we're taking the march past.
Ceci conclut le 23e service commémoratif annuel des pompiers d'Ottawa. N'hésitez pas à prendre des rafraîchissements et venez voir votre monument de près et visiter la table commémorative.
As the band plays through fame to flame. Ladies and gentlemen, please feel free to have refreshments. Come up and have a close look at the monument. Please visit the memorial table. And as many of you know, Capital City Memorial Gardens have constructed a firefighters memorial wall. They will be hosting a firefighter memorial service on October 16th or October 6th and at their location, Prince Wales Drive. They would like to add additional names to the deceased firefighters to the wall at no cost to anyone. If you want to have a name implemented, then you may do so. Now the band will entertain you with the closing of Island Cathedral.
District Chief Alan Darling. Date of birth, April 15th, 1952. Date of death, April 4th, 2014. Fire Service, 1975 to 2012. Alan was born in New Brunswick and moved to Ottawa when he was 6 months old. He grew up in Alta Vista and attended Hillcrest High School. He joined the Ottawa Fire Department on January 27, 1975 and served for 37 years. Retiring at the rank of District Chief, he was extremely proud of his career as a firefighter. He was a man with a huge heart who lovingly looked after his family. He also was a caring volunteer who shared his time faithfully for many years with the Muscular Dystrophy Association and CHIO. Alan was a loving husband to Cindy, father, and Papa, who will remain in his family's hearts forever.
Captain Gilles Daniel Crete. Date of birth, February 22nd, 1961. Date of death, July 25th, 2016. Fire service from 1988 to 2016. Gilles served as an Ottawa firefighter for 28 years. He was much respected for his work ethic, strength, and stoicism. He always strived for excellence and chose to lead by example. His kindness was contagious, and he would go out of his way to help others. Pursuing his passion for woodworking, Gilles turned his garage into a formidable workshop. His favorite activity was to help out family members with household repairs, often before they even knew they needed fixing. He was the beloved husband of the late Joanne Demers and the loving father of sons Danielle and Denis. To many, he was an inspiration. Gilles Crete died of work-related pancreatic cancer at the age of 55.
Martin was brought up on a dairy farm in Osgood by Dutch parents, Maria and Henry Michaels. He loved fishing, trucks, and basically anything with an engine. He also loved to tour across Canada and the U.S. on his motorcycle. He became a professional firefighter in 1980 with Gloucester Fire. He also volunteered with Osgood Fire, and upon the municipal amalgamation of 2001, he became an Ottawa firefighter. Martin always served with dedication and pride, and he enjoyed mentoring young firefighters. Martin's wife Elaine, of 47 years, will mourn his loss, as will sons Jeffrey, Richard, and grandson James Michael Ferguson.
Gordon Hay commenced working in the Nepean Fire Department in July of 1972 and became renowned as an excellent pump operator and also a daring prankster when not involved in firefighting. Hayseed, as he was known at the fire hall, was married over 50 years to his wife Arlene and raised 2 children, Robert and Angela. Gordon was papa to his 5 grandchildren, and they reciprocated a strong bonding to one another. Hayseed was fun, thoughtful, a wealth of knowledge, and passed sound life advice whenever he had the opportunity to his children and to his grandchildren. Born in farm life, Gordon continued with his strong religious beliefs, and this legacy of faith was expressed with his family comes first attitude. Wayne Sabrin grew up with a strong sense of duty and commitment to helping others. He started his career as an ambulance driver, where he met Jean, an emergency room nurse, and his future wife. He then went on to join the Gloucester Fire Department, where he served as a well-respected firefighter for 36 years. At the time of his retirement, Wayne had risen to the rank of platoon chief. Wayne was a beloved family man who will be dearly missed by his wife Jean and daughter Linda. Sadly, he was predeceased by his daughter Karen. Gary Atfield was raised in Eastern Ontario. After high school, he wandered off to British Columbia to lay track for a railroad company. Gary returned to Ottawa in 1977 and joined the Ottawa Fire Department. After 33 years of dedicated service, Gary retired as a captain at Station 22. Gary was predeceased by his lovely wife, Angela, and together they raised a son, Gary Jr., and a daughter, Beverly. Although known as an excellent all-round athlete, Gary took much comfort in the sport of curling, where he became an elite competitor. Gary was dedicated to the fire service and took extreme pleasure when surrounded by his brotherhood.
Captain David Cecil Morgan. Date of birth, November the 11th, 1949. Date of death, May 2nd, 2024. Fire service from 1972 to 2009. Dave was born in Ottawa, November the 11th, 1949. His best childhood friend was Brian Ventura, and together they could be described as happy, charming rogues. They shared many adventures together, such as fending off imaginary intruders with BB guns or mucking out stables at a local farm so they could get to ride the horses. Dave had two great ambitions in life, becoming a firefighter and owning his own farm. His first goal was attained in 1972 when he became an Ottawa firefighter. After a successful career of 37 years, he retired in 2009 as a captain. His second goal was achieved years later as he and his soulmate Claire Brennan acquired a hobby farm. Dave passed peacefully at home after a 12-year battle with cancer. He is survived by his beloved partner Claire, his brother Brian, and his sister Sharon.
Jim Donaldson was born May 14, 1943 in Ottawa, Canada, and raised with love by Monty and Allie Donaldson in Sandy Hill. He attended the High School of Commerce, where he met the love of his life, Penny. They married in 1965 and welcomed three precious children, Darren, Sean, and Amy. Jim joined the Ottawa Fire Department in 1968, proudly served, and eventually was promoted to Chief of Training. He took his new responsibilities seriously, and it was his goal to protect his recruits with practical knowledge and professionalism. He retired in 1998. Jim was a skilled tradesman and mechanic who shared his vast knowledge with family and friends.
Firefighter Richard DeFazio. Date of birth, January 5th, 1936. Date of death, August 16th, 2019. Fire service from 1958 to 1963. Richard grew up in Ottawa's Little Italy, where he enjoyed playing hockey and billiards and going to rock and roll dance parties. He joined Ottawa Fire in 1958. After 5 years, Richard left the service and went on to become a professional ballroom dance instructor and an entrepreneur. Later on, he also took up scuba diving, kayaking, and traveling. Richard and his wife Barbara Ann raised a family of 5 children, which eventually included 9 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren. Being a Jehovah's Witness was a very important part of Richard's life. Captain Alistair Binney. Date of birth, September 30th, 1954. Date of death, October 17th, 2023. Fire service from 1984 to 2014. Al and his family immigrated to Canada in the mid-1950s from Scotland. He grew up in the Riverside Park area and attended Brookfield High, where he excelled in competitive sports. He continued his interest in sports at university, where he majored in economics and minored in football. He loved being a firefighter and considered the Fire Brotherhood Sisterhood as his second family. Al had many and varied interests, including most sports, boating, skiing, music, and riding his Harley. He will be dearly missed by his brother Rod and his beloved nieces, nephews, grandnieces, and grandnephews.
Donald joined the Gloucester Fire Department in 1978. 3 years after the amalgamation of the fire services in 2000, he closed out his firefighting career. Don's greatest asset in life was his tenacity for continued improvement. This determination is probably why Don became a multiple-year men's champion at the nearby Poplar Grove Golf Course. This similar dedication to detail continued with two other pastimes, trout fly fishing and guitar playing. After retirement, Don decided to move to Nova Scotia and returned frequently to visit his friends and family. George Lajoie was raised in the Sayreville area when he was a child and worked for Coca-Cola before becoming a firefighter in the Gloucester Fire Department, commencing in 1967. George spent his entire career in Gloucester and retired as a firefighter in 1997. George's greatest passion was his personal automobiles. He took enormous pride by spending much of his time fixing and beautifying his vehicles. Although George was somewhat introverted, he enjoyed participating with the lads at the various union charity gatherings like ball tournaments and other similar events.
Deputy Fire Chief Peter Alain. Date of birth 1946. Date of death March 2nd, 2024. Fire service from 1965 to 2002. Peter was born in Nova Scotia, and at the age of 19, he joined the Canadian Armed Forces as a firefighter and crash crew specialist. After moving to Ontario, he joined Gloucester Fire in 1970, where he rose to the rank of deputy chief. With the municipal amalgamation of 2001, Peter served with Ottawa Fire and retired in 2002 at the rank of deputy fire chief prevention. In his retirement, Peter enjoyed lots of early morning golf with Edwina, his soulmate, best friend, and wife of 55 years. He will be sadly missed by Edwina, his three sisters Raymond, Sylvia, and Jocelyn, as well as several nieces and nephews.
Roy Ross started with the Ottawa Fire Department in 1960 and retired as a captain after 35 years of service. Roy and his wife Kay enjoyed a large family during those years. After retirement, Roy remained very busy, driving school buses, maintaining hostas at the experimental farm, and building homes with the Habitat for Humanity. He was proud to be a volunteer and give back to his community whenever he could. His greatest pastime was spending summers at the Iroquois Municipal Campground, where he jammed with fellow musicians around a campfire. Doug Roussel joined the Ottawa Fire Department in 1977, but was unsettled with his career choice. Whether Doug did not like the paramilitary lifestyle at the workplace or simply had a different vision of his own future, he retired after only 14 years in the fire service. His next venture was opening up a hardware store in the town of Renfrew. It is our understanding that Doug had a fruitful life as an entrepreneur. Afterwards, Doug and his family retired in western Quebec.
Captain Leo Philippe. Date of birth June 15th, 1946. Date of death May 31st, 2024. Fire service from 1967 to 2001. Leo joined Ottawa Fire in 1967 and enjoyed a distinguished 34-year career, retiring at the rank of captain. He was proud to serve his community as a firefighter and always put the safety and well-being of others first. He was an avid golfer and scuba diver. He also had a wonderful sense of humor and zest for life and loved bringing a smile to the faces of others. Leo and his late wife Mary enjoyed traveling as well as the simple pleasures of the pool in their backyard paradise in Aylmer, Quebec. Leo was predeceased by Mary and will be missed by his stepchildren, his grandchildren, and his siblings.
Joseph Gilchrist retired as captain in the Byward Market Station following a 37-year career with Ottawa Fire Services. He was a proud firefighter and met many lifelong friends during his time with OFS. He was married to his wife Shirley for 66 years, with a daughter Kim, son Jeff, grandson Braden, and two great-granddaughters, Finley and Summer, who were very bright lights in his life. Joe had many interests and hobbies such as woodworking, hunting, fishing, and cottage life. He built the family cottage at Crosby Lake, where family and friends were always welcome. In retirement, he and Shirley spent many fun-filled winters at their place in St. Petersburg, Florida, and summers at the cottage. He was always ready for an adventure and lived life to the fullest.
Fire Chief Lyle Lorne McLennan. Date of birth, December 1st, 1933. Date of death, June 28th, 2024. Fire service from 1952 to 1989. At a young age, Lyle enlisted in the military, serving as a paratrooper in the Korean War. After the war, he joined the Ottawa Fire Department, where his skills and leadership allowed him to rise through the ranks, becoming fire chief in 1982. As chief, he oversaw major improvements in fire safety, including the fire station relocation program, which resulted in much improved response times right across the city. Lyle is survived by his beloved wife, Denise, of 7 years, his children, Bruce, Scott, Susan, and his grandson, Ben. He was predeceased by Joan, his loving wife of 47 years.